police watchdog is investigating after a pedestrian was struck and killed on Highway 410 near Steeles early this morning. Peel Police and the OPP received reports of a crash just before 7 a.m. A woman died on scene. Now, police are not providing much information at this time, but the SIU has invoked its mandate. Highway 410 was closed for several hours, but is now reopened. Taking you to Scarborough now, where a man has died after a shooting Friday night. Toronto police was called to Landry Avenue near Danforth and Warden just before 11:30 after gunshots rang out. Police held a press conference this afternoon.
Officers quickly responded to this address, and they located a male with gunshot wounds. Despite life-saving efforts, this male was pronounced deceased at the scene. This victim has been identified. His name is Ioannis Kyriakopoulos, age 64, of Toronto.
Now, police say that 64-year-old was known to police and they believe the shooting was targeted. They're looking for at least 3 suspects who left the area in a dark-colored SUV. They're asking for any witnesses to contact them. A cyclist died in hospital today after being hit by a vehicle in Etobicoke last Saturday. It happened after 8 o'clock on August 24th. A 26-year-old woman was riding her bike westbound when she was struck by a driver. She was taken to hospital at the time with serious injuries, but in a news release today, police confirmed she died in hospital. Police are asking anyone with information to contact them. You may have heard about this story out of the east end of Toronto. Neighbors warning each other after a young person was allegedly caught harming and killing animals, including a pet cat. Tonight, residents plan to come together. Lane Harrison is standing by live for us. Lane, tell us more about what you've learned.
So, Shannon, this all started on Friday when Toronto police announced that they had arrested and charged a 16-year-old boy from this neighborhood with animal cruelty. In particular, he's been charged with harming or killing animals and inflicting unnecessary pain on animals. Now, police allege that this all happened over the past month from August 1st to August 28th. And as you said, police allege that this boy harmed or killed several wildlife animals in the Riverdale neighborhood here, but most disturbingly, 2 local pet owners. He's also alleged to have killed a local cat. Now, I talked to some of those pet owners here at Withrow Park at the off-leash area, and they were particularly hit hard by that aspect of the news.
Neighborhood's traumatized. It's all people are talking about. You feel safe, you know. You don't even think about it. And then suddenly to find out that a cat that I knew, I mean, she used to wear a little collar, like a clown collar. It was really cute. And we'd see her every day, all the time. She was out walking around. Why? Like, why?
Mimi, the woman that we just heard from, told me that she's now pretty scared to even let her dog get out of her sight here at the dog park. And as you mentioned, there had been some warnings circulating on social media before police even made this announcement, telling people that there may be someone harming animals in this area. And so tonight there is going to be a candlelight vigil here at Withrow Park around 7 p.m. to remember the animals who were killed. Here's one animal care worker who I spoke to who's going to be there.
My hope is that there are resources provided by the system for this person to get some real help. I hope that the community can also get together and mobilize to, I know they've been doing like night patrols and things like that, brainstorming ideas to make the neighborhood safer so that something like this doesn't happen again.
The youth accused of being behind the violence had his first court appearance on Friday. Now, his name cannot be shared under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. And as the neighborhood is dealing with the shock, police are still investigating. Now, they believe that some people here may have witnessed what happened, and Shannon, they're still appealing to those people to come forwards.
A very disturbing story. Thank you, Lane, for bringing it to us. He's reporting for us from Riverdale Park. Relatives who've lost loved ones to overdoses getting together today with allies and advocates for International Overdose Awareness Day. Now, this comes as the province plans to shut down safe consumption sites near schools or daycares. As Brittany Billette shows us, that news has many in the community concerned.
Her death was completely preventable.
Amanda Chalmers lost her 16-year-old Ula last year. The suspected cause of death was an accidental overdose.
I want people to understand that this could happen to them. It's very real. It's a problem it's an epidemic.
She made a speech at a memorial event organized by Harm Reduction Advocacy Collective, a group of community workers, families, friends, and allies joined together to mark International Overdose Awareness Day.
I think it's important to acknowledge that this is like a very real thing that people are experiencing, and people need a place to bring their pain. People need a place to hear from other people that are going through similar things, and it's really meaningful.
Hannah Stahl lost her big brother to a toxic drug overdose in 2017. Now she's a community nurse, helping people with addictions get the help they need.
I do this work because I get to see my brother's face in all of my patients, and I get to care for them in ways that he never got care, and I get to remind them that their life is important because I didn't get the chance to say that to my brother.
According to data collected by the Ontario Drug Policy Research Network, there were 538 stimulant toxicity deaths and 2,645 opioid toxicity deaths in Ontario last year.
The overdose crisis over the last several years has killed thousands of people. In fact, it now outstrips all of the people who, at least in Canada and in Ontario, all of the people who've died from COVID.
Experts say the problem is that people are consuming tainted drugs without knowing and all by themselves. That's why they say safe consumption sites are so important.
Those are essential because in those facilities, people can go, they can use, they're being monitored, and if they overdose, immediate aid is provided.
Just last week, the Ford government announced that it would ban supervised consumption sites near schools and childcare centers, saying it wanted to focus on children's safety and invest in treatment options. It's a move many advocates say will have deadly consequences.
When these people are indoors, they're not in the alleyways using, they're not in the playgrounds using. We don't see it. Thousands of people use the safe consumption sites every month. And it has saved lives.
The province didn't reply to our request for comment. At the memorial, the government's announcement casted a shadow on the event.
And the more we shy away from crucial health care, like safe consumption sites, the worse our health care becomes.
Advocates say they'll keep pressing elected officials to do more for those struggling with addictions in honor of their loved ones and to prevent any more deaths. Brittany Billette, CBC News, Toronto.
Back to school is just days away, and the OPP is reminding drivers to look out for kids and school buses next week, especially when the lights are flashing.
When you see the amber light, slow down. You're going to prepare to stop, right? And then the red lights are going to come on, and you're going to stop. That way the kids get off the bus. It's going to interfere with your daily travels for maybe a minute, if that, and then you're going to be on your way.
That video coming from the OPP, drivers caught failing to stop for a school bus could face penalties, including fines ranging from $400 to $2,000 and 6 demerit points for first offenders. In some cases, even jail time of up to 6 months. Now, police say most school zones have reduced speed limits and increased penalties for drivers who break the rules. To talk more about back-to-school safety on the roads is Tracy Marshall. She's with CAA. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
So, Tracy, you've got a new study out looking at school zone safety and driving behaviors. What did you find?
Well, we found a few things. Congestion is still a big problem in school zones. So the car is still the primary mode of transportation for most students, and 80% of parents report experiencing congestion in their child's school zone. A little more concerning, though, is the dangerous driving behavior. So 80% of parents report having seen unsafe driving behaviors, and some of the big ones that our survey uncovered were speeding, double parking, blocking school bus zones, and stopping in undesignated areas.
All of that is very concerning for parents to hear. You know, you're heading back to school, the kids are so excited, but you're constantly having to be on the watch out.
Absolutely. You know, safety is a big concern. You know, an increase from our previous survey, 60% of parents consider the roads in their, child's school to be unsafe. And I think it's important to remember that there are tools in school zones to help mitigate some of those behaviors, but it starts with the drivers.
Because it is so top of mind right now, what are some of the big critical reminders for drivers that you'd like to get across?
They're very simple. Slow down, put away the distractions, and really watch for those school buses. That's going to be not brand new, but it's going to be one of those sort of reminders that, oh, I forgot how to sort of manage myself around school buses. So kudos to the OPP for putting that message out as well, but it's very important to refamiliarize yourself with how to drive around a school bus.
Absolutely.
Again, just a few seconds, that it'll, slow you down. It makes a world of difference to the safety of children.
Yes, just to take those few beats to pause and remind yourself, right? Yes, it is September. Yes. For parents, having conversations around safety with their kids as they head back to school, any tips there for parents about having those conversations and things we should be reminding our kids about?
Well, for the kids too, put those distractions away. If you're old enough to have a cell phone, make sure you're not walking with it with your head buried in it as you're making your way to school. For parents who might be walking their children to school, or their kids might be walking to school alone for the first time, if the opportunity comes up in the next couple of days, practice that route to school. Show some areas where special attention is needed. So this is a stop sign, this is a crosswalk. If you're in a residential area, even watching for cars that are backing out of driveways, like those things, everybody's in a hurry, everybody's nervous and excited. And it's, sometimes the kids aren't paying attention. So reiterating some of those messages and really showing by example is the best way to do that.
Absolutely. Such an important message this time of year. We thank you for taking the time to speak with us, Tracy.
Thanks for having me.
She's the Manager of Community Relations for CAA South Central Ontario. Back to school, can you believe it? I really can't. September long, but here we are, Sophia.
I have that butterfly in the stomach kind of feeling. That first day of school, it really is like a new year feel. But will you need to pack the fall outfit or the summer outfit? That is the big question. It's going to be a toss-up
Thank you for all your help.
First week back.
The Roosters.
But really, what we have is a really pleasant Labor Day long weekend. Let's begin with Saturday here. We have seasonal temperatures all across the board for Saturday. Did you lose me there for a second? It's because the spoiler alert is coming up here. Saturday, we have this big plume of Gulf moisture still coming in. It feels really muggy out there still, doesn't it? Even this evening, still feeling into the 30s right across the board. But what we will see is a change in temperatures this upcoming weekend. We got a little bit of rain pre-dawn, added a few drops to this rainiest summer ever bucket. I'll tell you the tally for that later on in the weekend. But until then, we're watching this sagging cold front throughout your long weekend. It will bring some storm activity north of the Nickel Belt for your Sunday. And then it's not bringing much rain down to parts of southern Ontario, except a little bit in parts of eastern Ontario. What it is going to do is usher in those fall-like vibes for your holiday Monday and even back to school Tuesday. I'll have the look at the active weather and what the temperatures will be like when all of you kids head back to school Tuesday coming up in the long range, Shannon.
I knew we had a lot of rain, but those numbers, wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's over a meter of rainfall this summer, and there's still more that could come.
Unreal. Okay, we'll talk to you in a little bit. X, formerly known as Twitter, is now banned in Brazil, one of the biggest markets for the social media platform. Now, this comes after a months-long feud between Elon Musk and a Brazilian judge. Katie Nicholson has more.
X users in Brazil woke up Saturday to this. That telltale spinning wheel of death and a blank screen. Access to the social media platform seemingly down across the country. It's the latest development in Elon Musk's game of chicken with a Brazilian Supreme Court judge. Social networks are a good tool, says Justice Alexandre de Moraes, but they're being used to attack democracy, to attack the rule of law. For roughly the last 2 years, the judge has been tasked with cracking down on online threats to democracy, like mis- and disinformation, especially in the wake of the country's contested 2022 election.
He's dealing with multiple cases, including some inquiry on the spread of fake news and hate speech online, and some others that are connected to the so-called digital militias.
The X dispute began when the judge ordered the company to take down some far-right accounts. Musk, who believes X should be a town square where almost anything goes, has resisted. Brazil threatened fines, which the billionaire ignored. And when he refused to name a legal representative in the country, that was the last straw. X, for now, only temporarily suspended in Brazil. And there's a fine for those who try to access it through a VPN connection, equivalent to roughly 12,000 Canadian dollars a day. Brazil's president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, made it clear where he stands. Just because a guy has a lot of money doesn't mean he can disrespect the law, Lula said Friday. Musk took to where else, X, and called de Moraes an evil dictator, cosplaying as a judge. X has an estimated 20 million regular users in Brazil. Some are turning to rival platforms, notably Blue Sky, which posted in English and Portuguese, "Brazil, you're setting new all-time highs for activity." To end this Brazilian X blackout, Musk would have to comply with the orders. Until then, the platform he wants to be all about free speech will have no speech. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Washington.
A popular contest is underway this weekend in Windsor at the annual Harrow Fair. The competition, rooster crowing. Now, judges say they're looking for that entertainment factor.
Good crowing person is well rested, clear throat, and just have his mind ready to crow.
Can you give me kind of a crow first?
This is the 170th year for the Harrow Fair. The crowing contest has been around for about 25 years and is a crowd favorite. Now, the fair also includes a parade, dairy cattle judging, bingo with cows, and a tractor pull. Do you want to give it a try?
You had me at bingo with cows.
Sounds amazing, right? Yes.
All over that. Finally, I found some fair festivities that I can be a part of and maybe even excel at. What do you think, Shannon? Next year, the show on the road in Harrow.
There you go. Let's do it.
Okay, so if you are heading out to do some crowing of your own, you've got summer-like vibes for this evening. Holding on to the 30 feels like with that muggy, sticky, soupy air. But a cold front will be slicing through into the overnight hours and to tomorrow afternoon. That will bring us a change and a fresher air mass, a little cooler as well. Saturday, some storms throughout the next few hours still possible around the Superior shorelines. And then Sunday afternoon into parts of eastern Ontario. For the rest of us, this is not going to mean much active weather this long weekend. Knock on wood. It's pretty good if you're up at the cottage this weekend, but the fall vibes will be coming in. After this cold front, it'll bring some rain north of the Nickel Belt into early morning hours tomorrow, and then a real change in wind direction for everybody else into the south for tomorrow afternoon from the north-northwest. Pretty breezy as well into tomorrow afternoon, gusting 40-50 kilometers an hour. That's the fall-like vibes coming in. Sunday overnight, look at that, even frosty conditions for some of you in parts of northern Ontario. Into Monday, this is sweater weather as you get packed up and start making those lunches for the first time again. Not looking forward to that. Temperatures anywhere from 3 to 5 degrees below seasonal. And for Tuesday, we are still a bit below seasonal for back to school, but plenty of sunshine and really a very nice week as we climb back up to seasonal with pleasant, even summer-like conditions for the end of the week. Shannon, how are you feeling? Emotional as the kids head back?
A little bit, but we're ready for routine, I think. We're excited. We need that.
I think I am with you. Yeah, all the feels.
It's been an amazing summer, but yeah, we're ready for school.
We'll see you soon.
All right, thanks, Sophia.